The time has arrived.
What's going on, everybody? Jammer's here, and I'm here to present to you a new project Capcom are working on known as Word on the Street, where we keep you up to date in regards to the terminology used when talking about Street Fighter or fighting games in general. Some terms you'll be familiar with, whilst others you might not have heard of. But let us find out what the 411 is in Street Fighter V. Now, there's a lot of information to absorb in this video, so feel free to pause and rewind the video at your own pace.
Now, let's begin!
Every character has at least two special moves in Street Fighter V. A projectile, an uppercut of some sort, a strong but rapid aerial attack. Special moves are unique moves that help define a character. Some moves are pretty straightforward to execute, whilst others come with a bit of difficulty. Similar to normal attacks, special attacks have three different versions: a light version, a medium version, and a heavy version. And just like normal attacks, special moves also play a huge role in fighting games. They can be used at the start of a sequence, to catch the opponent off guard in a particular situation, but they mainly are used to end combos. In Street Fighter V, these moves can help one obtain victory. Outside of the game, some special moves have an everlasting effect on us. To elaborate more on special moves, there are two types of special moves you need to know about: charge special moves and motion special moves. Charge special moves are moves in which the command input involves holding, or charging in this case, either a direction on your controller or buttons for a short period of time. The two types of charge moves that involve a directional input are backwards to forwards, where you hold the controller away from the opponent, then immediately push forward to release the charge. Or down to up. Hold down on your controller, then immediately hold up to release the charge. Do understand that charge characters do not have to be standing to start charging. They can be crouching, jumping, or even knocked down.
You can't run.
Now, when it comes to motion special, there's much more flexibility involved, but things can become a little more complicated. To make things easier, I'm going to relate this to mathematical terms. Quarter circle forward, which means 90 degrees towards your opponent. Quarter circle backwards, which means 90 degrees away from your opponent. Half circle forward, which means 180 degrees towards your opponent. Half circle backwards, which means 180 degrees away from your opponent. And full circle, which basically means 360 degrees. The special case are moves that require the Z motion, which is hold forward to down forward with your controller. Some characters have charge moves for all their special attacks, whilst others are purely motion based. There are also characters with the combination of both. At the end of the day, you'll have to find out what works for you. EX special moves are the enhanced version of a character's special move. For the most part, they inflict more damage than their regular counterparts. but they can also come with additional properties. Some moves become faster, making them more difficult to react to and punish. Some moves gain new properties, such as armor or invincibility. And some create new combo possibilities. Ones where the regular special would not allow it. Please note that in order to perform the EX special move, you need to input the required motion, whether it be a charge or motion input, and press 2 buttons simultaneously. So 2 punch buttons or 2 kick buttons. They also require you to spend meter, which is stored in the EX gauge. There's multiple ways to build EX meter, such as landing a series of attacks, landing a throw, or taking damage. In order to get access to better things in life, one must pay, and Street Fighter is no exception to this rule.
You have to train body more. Better run faster or get out of my way. I'll crush you.
I mentioned previously that throws are powerful in Street Fighter V, and that they are commonly used.
Tank!
Well, command throws, or command grabs, are quite different from your regular throws, as they are the next tier up in terms of potency, and they require a directional input to be performed. Command throws fall under the category of a motion special attack. The reason for them being so prevalent is for a number of reasons. Some do more damage than others, and some inflict an enormous amount of stun. But more importantly, they allow the attacker to keep up the momentum or close out the round. Now, unlike regular throws, command throws cannot be broken. So the best way to avoid them is by backdashing, going for a jump, or using special moves that have specific properties to counter them. Command grabs are pretty quick in Street Fighter V, with the exception of 1 or 2 being incredibly slow, as they give the character at hand an extra offensive option. But do keep in mind that not every character has one, so be on the lookout for those who have that command throw option. Critical arts, also known as supers, are a character's ultimate move.
It's God's will. Time to return to harmony. Seraphic wing!
They are much stronger than normal attacks and special moves in terms of damage and potency.
Time to end this. This is Bushin Ryu.
And they also have a slightly more complex input.
Muscle power
Now, because critical arts are much stronger than normals and specials, they have a specific requirement to execute them, which is having your EX gauge filled to the max. Now, there are 3 different types of critical arts in Street Fighter V. Projectile critical arts, ones which the character sends out a massive projectile. Strike critical arts, which is where the character has to land a physical hit. And grab critical art, one which the character grabs the opponent.
Here we go. One more down.
These you cannot block, you need to actually avoid them another way. Certain characters gain access to a powered up critical art when they are in their V-trigger, and I'll shed more light on how V-triggers work in the near future. These enhanced critical arts can do more damage for a character. Make them safe on block,
Let's go! Move it! Sonic!
or give them some additional properties.
Now the fight's begun! Hadouken!
Now, when Akuma or Kage activates V-trigger, they gain an extra critical art known as the Raging Demon. For Akuma, he has to pick V-trigger 1, and for Kage, he has to pick V-trigger 2. These are classified as grab supers, and these 2 characters have a multitude of ways to land them, so do keep an eye out for the Raging Demons. Landing a critical art comes with other benefits outside of huge damage.
Away with you! Ultimate Psycho Crusher!
Like giving your character the positional advantage, or getting you out of a sticky situation.
It won't miss. It's not done. Handle this.
But do keep in mind though, that if your critical art is blocked or somehow avoided,
You nervous?
then your opponent has the opportunity to land a tremendous amount of damage. Combos are what make fighting games insanely fun, and are probably one of the reasons why you delved into this genre. Combos are basically a sequence of attacks that cannot be blocked if the first hit connects. Combos are a combination of normal attacks and special moves. Some characters have simple combos, whilst others have combos that require a bit more dexterity. All depends on how the character was designed. The damage output to a combo will all depend on how much meter you're willing to spend. The more meter you spend means the combo should inflict more damage.
Like ice.
No matter how hard or easy the combo is, every character will have a BNB. BNB stands for bread and butter. Bread and butter combos are usually combos that are the go-to option for a character due to their efficiency and ease of execution. Let's use Ken as the example. His bread and butter is crouch strong, into back strong, then immediately press stand fierce, then input his heavy Tatsumaki special move. Now if Ken wants to dish out more damage, then he can spend 1 bar from his EX gauge at the end of this sequence, so that he can do the EX version of Tatsumaki. Just to reiterate, the damage done in combos depends on how much resources are spent. You have to practice these combos repeatedly until they become second nature, but there's also the possibility of you dropping the combo. You can head over to trial mode to see which character's combos you like best. To go into more detail about how combos work, the 2 terms you need to know about are links
Hey you! Show me a real attack!
and cancels. Let's start with linking. Linking is basically when you input a move within a specific time frame after performing another move. Linking both attacks together creates the combo. Pretty straightforward, right? But then what about cancels? Cancels are defined as stopping the current animation or move your character is doing by inputting another move that cancels the previous one. Cancelable attacks mainly apply to a character's normal attacks, which allow you to cancel into a number of moves. These are also referred to as cancelable attacks. The 4 types of cancels you need to know about in Street Fighter V are as followed. Special cancelable, meaning moves that cancel into special attacks. V-skill and V-trigger cancelable, meaning moves that cancel into a character's V-skill. Or V-trigger, which I'll talk about the V system in a future video. Critical art cancelable, meaning moves that cancel into a character's critical art. But how does one differentiate the 2? The difference between linking and cancelling is that with cancelling, the animation of the earlier move is interrupted. Whereas with linking, the animation of the earlier move is not interrupted. This is another one of those topics where it sounds complicated at first, but when you see it in motion frequently, it will make sense over time. Links and cancels are integral when it comes to combos. The more you play fighting games, the more you appreciate difficult combos.